Don't you want devoted followers who leave their families for you, give their money to you, give their bodies to you, give up their lives for you, consider you God, and will kill for you? Don't you want to become a cult leader? Since the death of God, there's been a vacancy opened. You could fill that void. Here's how. Structure your cult like an onion with the most benign and helpful features on the outside and the most controlling, kooky, and evil parts at the secret inner core. With the most benign and helpful features on the outside and the most controlling, kooky, and evil parts at the secret inner core. Use deception. Don't tell them who you really are. Lie. Leave out important information or distort information.
I don't understand why a name pre-transition is relevant to the human.
Say you were talking about Bob, and you used Bob's dead name. Well, that could expose information about Bob's previous identity that isn't yours to disclose. It's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're willing to learn.
Promise to fulfill their dreams.
Don't you want a world of unconditional love and brotherhood? We have the secrets to self-improvement.
Everyone is allowed to be themselves to the fullest extent.
We become free to blossom into change agents. All of our capacities to expand humanity are strengthened.
There is no other community on this planet that is as beautiful, magical, creative, and holy.
You can join us and be special. We can teach you special powers.
Personal power.
Psychic power.
Offer them something free and get them to feel obliged to give you something in return.
Well, we gave you that free dinner. The least you could do is come to our weekend intensive.
That's when one of the most iconic Stonewall moments of all time occurred. Marsha P. Johnson, a black trans woman, chucked a shot glass through the bar's window.
It's thanks to Marsha that the LGBTQ community found the courage to fight back.
You can tell them time is running out and that they must make their decision now or it will be too late.
This is your only chance to make it. Don't blow it.
It's important to make this commitment now.
This is an issue of burning urgency.
I'm currently on blockers now, but I think maybe 14 or 16, I might go on to testosterone, and then I want to have chest surgery.
You see, there's this thing called puberty that can afflict your child. 1, are puberty blockers safe? And second, does it matter?
Don't give them time to think. Diminish doubting commiseration by separating your new recruits from each other. Surround them with happy, true believers, so when in doubt, they will tend to do what everyone around them is doing and believe that is normal. Surround them with happy, true believers, so when in doubt, they will tend to do what everyone around them is doing and believe that is normal. Surround them with happy, true believers, so when in doubt, they will tend to do what everyone around them is doing and believe that is normal. Start with a prolonged period of love bombing. Surround them with unconditional love and attention.
Everybody feels loved, cared about, and heard, and they can grow.
I am on your side. Don't forget. You are eternal. That's the good news. You will respect us.
Your cult family should act friendly and interested. Gradually, over time, you'll begin to shape the recruit's behavior by granting or withholding this love and attention. After they've bonded, slowly start making your demands upon them. Control their behavior.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Well, it is something that shouldn't be said.
I didn't know J.K. Rowling was going to go all Mel Gibson on us.
Who do you think you are?
We're not trying to keep
You're free to go. We're not trying to keep you here. We need to get into there.
Control their thoughts.
Our ideology answers all questions to all problems.
Let our doctrine think for you.
Deciding not to use the correct pronouns for a trans person is a huge sign of disrespect and will most likely lead to that person feeling deeply uncomfortable and possibly even unsafe in your company.
So I have one student who, ever since I explained to my students that I was non-binary, it's been living in his head a little bit.
Control their thoughts. Control their thoughts. Control their thoughts. Control their emotions. Induce guilt and fear.
People are dying of starvation.
People are dying of starvation.
Trans people have a vastly higher attempted suicide rate than the general public.
And I heard that 8 transgender kids had committed suicide. I was like, my stomach, I just got goosebumps.
We're in the middle of a vicious anti-trans backlash, fighting for trans rights and taking on the anti-trans backlash and transphobia.
I knew at that moment that I would rather have a transgender child than a dead child.
Control information. Keep them from knowing all the workings of the cult.
Block out any information which is critical of the group.
Jokes are funny, people. Dave Chappelle is a funny guy. I love Dave.
Claim authority. It can come from a divine source, bogus scientific research, or special knowledge.
I am the enlightened master of the universe.
Scientific studies prove my techniques work.
Several studies have shown that transgender brains are both structurally and functionally more similar to their experienced gender identity than their biological sex.
Well, it's not a choice. It's who they are, and science can back that up.
A small study published in the journal Psychological Science found that kids as young as 5 who identify as trans
make up stories about yourself to boost your importance.
I invented air. I have special access to the aliens.
Protesters eventually started meeting outside this spa where this incident happened. This person that was in the bathroom that this woman is talking about was a trans woman. I have seen many vaginas in a women's bathroom. That's just part of being in that space.
We are the gender identity revolution, and we are preparing the world now for those coming into it.
But don't be stupid about it.
The bees continue to chase me for another 5 minutes.
Start slowly. A good con man takes a little bit of truth and a lot of lies and pulls the wool over the eyes of the ignorant. Induce trance states and self-hypnosis by practicing thought-stopping rituals and repetitive acts like dancing, spinning, singing,
We love the leader is love.
And chanting.
Stamp out down, 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 stamp out down,
Stamp out doubt. Stamp out doubt. Stamp out doubt.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Trans power. Trans power.
Revert them back to childhood dependence and mindless obedience.
Why, hello! Welcome to Stephanie's Playtime.
Revert them back to childhood dependence and mindless obedience. Revert them back to childhood dependence and mindless obedience. In these trance states, they are more receptive and suggestible. Encourage separation from their family.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
It doesn't sound like your family and friends really love you if they can't support your new decision. If you can't recruit your friends, cut off from them.
People are calling me the internet mom more and more lately, and I like it. And if you've been rejected by everybody, you can be in my family.
Hello, my sweet baby angel. How's your spirit? Honey, are you non-binary? How beautiful! Oh, baby, I am so proud of you. The journey back to the self is the journey of a warrior.
Encourage dependency and conformity, and discourage autonomy and individuality.
The whole purpose must be the focus. The self-purpose must be subordinated.
The whole purpose must be the focus. The self-purpose must be subordinated.
These things are deeply connected.
Trans rights are human rights. They are our rights. They are political rights. And us as cis people need to ride or die for our trans siblings.
Have confessionals where people demonize their early lives and only praise their life in the group. Rewrite the past as terrible.
I was a bad person. I was greedy, misguided, self-centered, and lost. My life is wonderful now. I hate my old life.
I was deeply judgmental and homophobic and transphobic. And then I actually did the work of self-discovery and I became a different person.
I could really fully listen to myself, and I think for so long I didn't even have a concept of what I was feeling, you know?
And I'm a better person today than Bruce ever was. More understanding, more giving, bigger heart, more comfortable with yourself, happier than Bruce ever was.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
Tighten your group's bond by establishing scapegoats and enemies. Demonize outsiders as less than human, biased, corrupt, or conspiring against the group. Develop an us versus them mentality. Tell them their critical thoughts are evidence that they have committed crimes against the group. Start investigating them and make up crimes.
J.K. Rowling has been tweeting derogatory comments about trans people for some months now. Some years she's been suggesting her anti-trans views.
LGBT Alliance is definitely anti-trans.
When the media speak about LGBT Alliance, I'd like them to speak about them honestly and say that this is a group that many people in the LGBT community feel is a hate group.
I think I want to leave.
You must be insane.
Make them feel guilty.
We're all called upon to make some sacrifices for the cause.
Just when things get tough, you want to give up.
You're weak.
Do you want to move forward toward freedom and enlightenment? Or do you want to fall back into your old dirty ways?
You're being negative,
Ignorant
selfish,
and sinful.
Detransitioning is something that is widely avoided because of how much detransitioning and people who detransition are weaponized against the trans community and used as a way to invalidate trans people. It's rubbish. Most people who detransition have been found to do so because of a hostile environment.
Our leader is flawless.
The doctrine is flawless.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Make it easier for them to die for you by calling their bodies containers that are shed before they evolve into higher life forms.
Boys are born with visible penises. Girls are born with visible vaginas. Science. But it's a lot more complex than that.
I think that we are born and we're assigned a sex at birth. That is a matter none of us have control over, but we do have control over our destinies and over our identities.
Carry a controversial body as a gender non-conforming person. I say carry as if my body is not mine, because what I realize is that gender is never something that I consented to. It was totally forced on me. I never chose to have a gender.
People can be born into the wrong body. People can be born into the wrong body. People can be born into the wrong body. People can be born into the wrong body.
It's that simple. Now, don't you want to become a cult leader? Don't you want devoted followers who leave their families for you, give their money to you, give their bodies to you, give up their lives for you, and will kill for you?
I will do what you say for the cause. I will leave my family for the cause. I will give you my money for the cause. I will give you my body for the cause. I will die for the cause. I will kill for the cause.
My mom doesn't matter if I am gay or lesbian or any of that. She doesn't care. All she cares about is that I'm a part of it. And if I'm not a part of it, she'll try to convince me to join it.